is the crypto bottom in? It's a question we all have. It's a question that a lot of people think they have an answer for. I don't, but I can try to analyze what's most likely. And that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to take a look at the reasons why the bottom may not be in yet and the reasons why the bottom is in, and then come to a good conclusion. And also, to be honest, I want to really mention at the beginning of this video already that it should not matter. Timing the bottom, timing the top, that's not what we try to do anyway, right? However, we are curious, so let's try to figure that out. Welcome to the FOMO Factory. Like the video if you like the video, and let's get right into it. Now, let me start off with the reasons that people think that we can go lower. And one of the reasons that people think is that we go lower, one of the biggest reasons that I've heard so far at least, is that it's not Q4 yet, right? And it is not the best reason, I think, but it is the most used reason at least, right? Because usually crypto bottoms in Q4. And that's a very easy statement, of course, right? Let's not overcomplicate. It always bottoms there. So why wouldn't it bottom right now? Now, it's not Q4. That's correct. It's August, right? It's Q3 right now. And you could say like, well, in a regular bear market, Bitcoin has a regular bottom at that period. However, we should also take in consideration that I think that I've been saying for a long time, like, hey, this is not going to be a regular bear market. That played out pretty perfectly. And the fact that if it is not a regular bear market, then why should we look or, wait for a regular bottom process? Right now, a top, look, we had a top in Q4 2025. I'm not blind. I know that. I can see that. Right. And according to the 4-year cycle theory, that should have been there. Right. But it doesn't prove that a 4-year cycle theory is playing out right now. Right. This has a lot to do with a self-fulfilling prophecy, I think. A self-fulfilling prophecy could happen at tops because people think like, hey, it's going to top here, so I sell, so it tops there. With a bottom, it's a little different, right? Because if people think that, hey, I think it's going to bottom in Q4, then how? Because we need a capitulation for that. And it's not that if you expect it to bottom in Q4, that you're going to sell in Q4 to make that capitulation happen. It's actually the other way around. You're probably going to buy there, which is not going to make that capitulation, happen. So the self-fulfilling prophecy at bottoms cannot play out. One of the biggest things, though, is that if you look where we are right now in the cycle, right? If you look, by the way, Bitcoin is in day 39 of the bull market right now. And I'm troll posting this shit every day on Twitter, but I think it's quite funny actually, because we love to compare Bitcoin to the 2022 bear market while we are like not even remotely close to that. But if we compare to that same cycle's bull market, then we are a lot closer to that. So I think it's funny to see. And I am kind of surprised how long this has been staying that consistent. It's kind of crazy. But every single bear market out there that we had so far, right? Because if it's all about cycles, then let's compare the cycles, right? If we look at every bear market so far compared to this one, 2011, not even close, right? And we could say like, oh, yeah, Bitcoin was new back then and all of that. Yeah, that's fine. However, it was the biggest drawdown ever. So we should call that a bear market, right? I mean, now we just went down 50%. We have seen mid-cycle corrections that were down harder, and we are already calling this a bear market. So, but not even close. If you look at 2013, 17, and 21, these cycles, right? The bear cycles of those cycles, at this point, they were all at the same point, right? This is not about diminishing returns or diminishing losses, because these happen whenever we bottom or whenever we top. You cannot deny the fact that we had 1, 2, 3 tops, 3 data points, just 3. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's one thing with 3 data points, right? Just one thing. Now, let me show you 30 other things with at least 3 data points that say something different. And there, it starts to become a little, how do you call it? Where people end up in discussions, right? Because there's a camp about the 4-year cycle and there's a camp about not the 4-year cycle. And I just think that, anybody who's a little experienced in crypto at least, or analyzes it, or does it for years already, or does this daily, and they look at the 4-year cycle, I think like, nah, what are you doing? Right? So when it comes to all of that, and I'm going so long about that for one simple reason, if nothing about this whole bear process is the same, then why would the bottom process be? That's speculation to the fullest. And I think there are some arguments to be made against that, which you should take in consideration purely because of the fact that that there's otherwise a danger of people trying to time a bottom that may never come because it's based on a broken theory. And I think that that's, again, dangerous, because then you get the typical scenario where people miss out and they be like, buy the counter trend rally. And before you know, they buy somewhere close around the top and they get wrecked again and complain about what a fucked up market this was, right? Like that's kind of how it always goes in crypto. That's normal. And I just hope that, we can prevent that a little bit. Let me show you a couple reasons why it's likely that the bottom is in, and not all of them, because then this video will take way too long, I think. Number one is basically the biggest one, actually, and that's macro. Crypto, liquidity, macro. And it's following macro. Right? Now, if you look at the ISM, for example, the ISM, and I talked about this a lot, like if you want a real explanation for why there should be a 4-year cycle, then here is the explanation, including 2011, right? Like this shows whenever it tops, Bitcoin tops. Whenever it bottoms, Bitcoin bottoms. And of course, it's not instant. There's a lag. I know, because now people say like, whoa, the ISM goes up right here and Bitcoin went down. Yes, the ISM also went up in 2014 and Bitcoin already started its downtrend. There's always a lag. This is the bigger picture. This is macro stuff, of course. This is not on a daily chart or whatever. But the manufacturing new orders, aka the liquidity business cycle, is in expansion. And the expansion zone means that it's good for risk assets. Right? And that's maybe also, again, like, hey, but why is Bitcoin then not going up? Well, because it's fighting, basically, probably, the self-fulfilling prophecy that has partly played out, right? That it should have gone down right now. But it kind of also explains why we are not sitting at the regular expected 70% down at this point, right? Because according to the 4-year cycle, that's where we should be right now. We're not even close to it. Right? And that might have something to do with that the macro is actually not doing bad. Now, usually after breaking 50, it takes about 1.5 years. And this is a little speculation from my side. But if that's the case and it broke it in January, then there's a very good chance that somewhere halfway 2027, a top could be formed, right? Now, I heard this argument from the bear side, actually, but I think it's more an argument from the bull side. Like, yeah, well, look at the S&P. It's sitting at all-time highs and it should crash. To be honest, people are saying that for years right now. And in all that time, this is where we are right now, right? Sitting at a new all-time high. Yeah, here we were sitting at a new all-time high in August 2020, and we didn't go down until December 2021, right? Like, this could go on for years and years and years. Like, there are many examples of that. But this has proved over time that a new all-time high for the S&P is definitely not a reason to be bullish or to be bearish. It's more a reason to be bullish, right? So this is completely looking fine as well. Oil, by the way, just got a fat, well, not just, but it got a fat rejection. Like I said, maybe months ago at this point, where you should be a little careful for oil. And we went down really hard. Now, if you overlay Bitcoin on it, you can see a very positive correlation right there as well. But something else, it's not only about Bitcoin, right? It's about the crypto market. So let's take a look at the total crypto market right now. Look, this is how the total crypto market is looking at the moment. You know, it's funny. If you look at it on the monthly chart, right, and you put the RSI on it, what do you notice? And this is where, if people say like, well, we will go lower, where the this time is different narrative comes in. And I think it's dangerous because, and that's weird in crypto right now, because if people believe in the 4-year cycle, they're saying like, this time is not different and this and that. But you actually are saying that it's different because we have a good macro market. We have Bitcoin following it. We have bottom indicators flashing. We have bad sentiment. So if you are saying we go low, and then you're basically saying this time is different and all of that is going to be invalid this time. Yeah. And that's where it gets a little tricky right now, doesn't it? So if you look at this, the monthly RSI monthly, right, for the total crypto market, we are sitting at the same zone where we bottomed in the last market, where we bottomed in the market before that, and where we bottomed in the market before that. Again, hey, third time, right? Just like the 4-year cycle theory did with it stops. Right? Cool, let's take a look at actual sentiment. Sentiment was sitting at real low levels, right? Like here it was sitting at real low levels. Here it was sitting at real low levels. Here it was sitting at real low levels. I pointed at a mid-cycle correction, at 2 bear markets and the COVID crash. That's it. That's all. Every single time the sentiment was just as bad as what we had here. So, you know, even if you feel like, I don't know, you cannot look at this and be like, well, this is not a good place to DCA. Like, of course, who in their right mind is looking at these levels and be like, nah, let's wait. Like, then what are you doing, right? That's so weird.
Another thing, and again, I don't want to mention all the different bottom indicators,
of course, because then but also the Bitcoin production cost. You could very easily say like, hey, Bitcoin always bottoms around the production cost, goes a little below it. Here it didn't go below it, right? But that's the bottom zone. And this is a very explainable bottom zone anyway, because the Bitcoin miners, they stop selling because it's not profitable anymore and therefore it forms a floor. Well, check, right? Now we can say about sentiment, it's wrong this time. We could say about the production cost, it's wrong this time. We could say about the RSI, it's wrong this time. Everything is wrong this time. Then let's pile it all up together and come to a average conclusion, because there's always an indicator that could be wrong. If we put them all together and they're all kind of giving the same answer from different perspectives, then you cannot argue against that, right? So if we do that, then this is the chart that we're getting, right? This is the Bitcoin heat meter existing out of 14 different indicators, right? The AHR 909, insanely good indicator. The BTC score, bi-weekly RSI, fear and greed, cost of production, the ISM logarithmic regression band, the MVRV, which is a great indicator, by the way, risk wave, stock to flow, all of that, right? And if we look at all of those together, you see that the average bottom is at 15.8%. And this cycle, we went as low as 13, right? 13.5. So we went below average. That's the point where you should say like, wow, we went below it. There was a good chance that we wouldn't go below it. So we did. So now let's turn full bullish. Right? This is our DCA zone, right? Because this is also the same thing. Like, yeah, look, the cycle has never been wrong. Well, it has been more wrong than right, actually. But if I feel like if you believe in that, then let's also take a look at what else has never been wrong, right? Mark the tops, mark the bottoms. If you sold in the red, bought in the blue, you nailed it, right? You did. So, and you could say like, well, it didn't mark it in 2025, right? So it's wrong. But that's maybe more confirmation that this wasn't a cycle top, right? It marks blow-off cycle kind of tops. Well, we weren't even close here. Not even close, right? In October. We were sitting at half of what it usually tops at. However, if this was wrong, then it should also not have marked both bottoms in this low cycle, right? But it did it perfectly. So that only confirms to me like, hey, this thing isn't wrong. Maybe it just was not a top. And that brings me to the latest point for this video, at least. This cycle, again, this is so much more 2019 in any kind of way, right? And I said it before, and people were not so happy with it. Like, well, no, this is a bear market. And I get that, though. It's not a bull, but it's not only bull or bear, right? You could also have mid-cycle stuff or accumulation zones or whatever, right? It doesn't feel like a bull, for sure, because it isn't. It does feel like a bear, but it might not be a bear, not at least a regular bear market. And that has been proven to play out, luckily, though. But if you compare to 2019, so far, right, there's a real argument to be made over there, right? Because if you look how much we went down so far in this bear market, where the 4-year cycle said we should be sitting down minus 70%, right? We are now down 54, or we were down 54% from high to low. 50, yeah. If you look at 2019, excluding COVID, right? I mean, I'm not going to compare with black swans. That would not be fair. But if you compare to 2019, it's 50. So percentage-wise, we did the exact same thing. Exactly the same. You could say like, well, yeah, but in this cycle, at a certain point, we were also down 54%. So that, if you go to 70, you have to get through that as well. And sure, but the thing that kind of stands out to me, though, is that it happened during the exact same time frame, pretty much. Because if you compare to 2019, Here we bottomed at day 261. If July was our bottom, we bottomed at day 268. So it's kind of like, oh, this is all coming together right now, right? And therefore, the chance is way higher that the bottom is in than not. And even if it is not, and we wick 2% lower or whatever, it still doesn't mean that it's not a bottom zone, right? Because like I said at the beginning and somewhat later, you want to DCA, you don't want to try to time a bottom, of course. Like, let's, whatever the reason is, whatever the thesis is, let's hopefully all unite now in getting some good entries from this point. DCA, be smart about what we buy and enjoy the gains, right? While probably a lot of people are waiting for sub 40K, which is just pure emotion based and hasn't anything to do with, you know, analytics or whatever. And because if you look at 40K, yeah, again, according to the heat meter as well, we never go there even, right? We spend 0.7% of the entire time in Bitcoin at a 5% risk level, 0.7%. So yes, there is a chance that it goes there. The chance is just like, well, 0.7% on average, right? So it's not really that high. I wouldn't really bet my money on that. And that's 48K. Hey, if you want to base it on something, if you look where we are right now compared to the previous moments in the market, after a month, on average, we would be up 11%. After 3 months, 39%. After 6 months, 44%. And after a year, 297%. Right? That's from the point where we are right now, on average. Overall, betting that it goes lower is basically saying everything is different. Let me know what you think. If you think like we go lower, let me know why. I'm happy to take a honest look at it. So thanks for watching. Like the video. See you in the next one.